Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over my team selection for Game Week 7 and also the potential transfers that I'm thinking of making as well. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment what are your plans for your team, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, finishing things off with Game Week 6, we ended up on 61 points. There was, of course, a game last night. Bournemouth took on Southampton at home. I had Semenyo playing, who did finish with 7 points. So a very nice haul from all of my midfielders, apart from Saka, who technically still did get 1 bonus point. It was really annoying, the whole assist being given to him, then being removed, and then having 3 bonus, and then them being removed as well. But he did technically get something, but the rest of the midfield obviously doing really well. So 61 points, it's not too bad on Wildcard, to be fair. It is a nice green arrow, up to like 910k or something like that in the world. So it's positive, and the team is shaped up relatively nicely for the foreseeable future as well. But yeah, I obviously spoke about most of this in yesterday's video. But yeah, Raya getting 1 point, Gabriel getting 1 point, really underperformed in what I'd expect to get from those. If they get nothing from Southampton, then it's just going to be a really annoying kind of situation, because I only really wildcarded because I had no Arsenal players, and I also wanted to get Palmer in as well. Obviously, Palmer has delivered tenfold, but if my Arsenal assets don't do anything, then yeah, it's going to be really unfortunate on the wildcard. Milenkovic picking up 2 points. Trent also being very disappointing this week, only picking up 1 point. As I said, the midfielders really brought home the green arrow this week. And Mbumo with 9, Palmer with 25, Saka with 3, Rodgers with 7, and Semenyo with 7. Rodgers was also pictured in training as well. He obviously did come off with that tight hamstring, so I'm not too worried about him now. We'll see how many minutes he gets against Bayern Munich in the Champions League this week. But yeah, still pretty confident that he'll be fine for the weekend, because like I say, he's been in training anyway. Semenyo picking up 7 points. Was really unfortunate not to get an assist as well, because he played it to Cook, and then I think like I watched most of the game last night, then Cook kind of took the shot and then it deflected off the striker and went in. So obviously if the striker didn't get that touch, then Semenyo would have got the assist if it went in. So yeah, could have been on 10 points and then potentially some bonus as well. But either way, I'll take 7 anyway. Got something. I did say in yesterday's video I expected some sort of return from that game, and yeah, he did deliver with that goal. And then Calvert-Lewin with 1 point, and then obviously Haaland really unfortunate to only pick up 2 points as well. Doubled because he's my captaincy. And then on the bench, Ward picking up 0, Greaves picking up 0, Mikalenko picking up 2, and then also Strand Larsen picking up 2 as well. So that's how I finished Game Week 6. 61 points. Like I say, it's a decent score really, and a lot of non-wildcarding teams have kind of scored around that anyway, because they all had Salah captain, and obviously he got about 20 points. So Palmer kind of like softened the blow of that. It's just the rest of the team just did really badly. Like a lot of these players I was really expecting to do well this week. Like I say, if the Arsenal assets delivered, that would have been an extra like, I don't know, 11, 12 points from the defence. And then obviously if Saka had got something as well, it could have been close to about 80 odd points. But it is what it is. Finished on 61. Let's move on to the team selection for Game Week 7. So in goal we do have Raya, who's got Southampton at home. Again, Southampton looked really bad last night, especially in the first half against Bournemouth. I can't really see them creating much against Arsenal, but it could just be one of those things where it all goes wrong and they do end up scoring twice. Like Leicester scored twice from an XG of like 0.27, and that could easily happen again. But yeah, Raya in goal with Southampton at home. Like I say, Raya's just going to be my set and forget anyway. Arsenal defence, even though it's not as good as last season, it's still one of the best, if not the best in the league. So I'm not worried. I think it was just a little bit of a hiccup with that Leicester situation this weekend. Obviously, still really annoying, but yeah, Raya will just be my set and forget. There's not really any other goalkeeper that I want to bring in to replace Raya. And even after Southampton at home, obviously they've got Bournemouth away, which is not the worst fixture in the world. They then have Liverpool, Newcastle and Chelsea, which isn't great. But then after that, it's just a sea of green fixtures. So yeah, more than happy just to keep Raya now for like honestly, after game week 11 when they play Chelsea, the only like red fixtures, City at home in 24 and then Liverpool away in 36. Apart from that, they're all green and grey. So there's no reason to not have Raya just in my team for the rest of the season now. Unless he gets injured, I'm absolutely fine just keeping him. So Raya's in goal with Southampton at home. I've got Trent, who's got Palace away. Again, after this week, it might start being a situation where I think about getting rid of Trent. Like Chelsea at home, then Arsenal away. And then obviously Brighton at home, which is a good fixture, but then they've got Villa at home, then it's Southampton away, but then they've got City and Newcastle. So I think after this week I probably just will get rid of Trent. I probably should have got rid of him on my wildcard, but Wolves away could have been very good. And I think he'll still do well against Palace. Like Palace look really bad this season. I think even if he gets like a double-digit haul, it might just be smart to get rid of him and then use those funds elsewhere, because I could always upgrade a striker to a Solanke or something like that if need be. So yeah, I think I'll keep Trent for maybe one more week. I do have 2 free transfers. We'll talk about that later on in the video when we go over the transfers. But yeah, Trent might be somebody that I am thinking of potentially about getting rid of soon. I've got Mikalenko, who's playing Newcastle at home. My other options are West Ham away for Greaves, and then obviously Chelsea away for Milenkovic. I'm not going to be playing Milenkovic because I have Palmer and Greaves. Ipswich, they look okay. Obviously, they played really well against Villa, but I think from an away standpoint, even though West Ham haven't been too exciting this season, I think Mikalenko potentially might snatch something against Newcastle, so I'm just going to play him anyway. A lot of people are playing Rico Lewis this week, and he might not even start, so hopefully he doesn't, and then that'll make my Mikalenko pick a little bit better. And then we also got Gabriel, who's also got Southampton at home, so hopefully the double Arsenal defence do come through this week. Really, really need the points from those guys. And yeah, hopefully Trent gets something as well. I'm kind of expecting a clean sheet from Liverpool this week. I don't think they'll... I mean, they've only conceded, what, 2 goals all season? They conceded 1 to Wolves and then 1 to Forest. So, apart from that, like, they've been solid. And I'm hoping that they carry on being solid against that Crystal Palace team. Even though it is away, yeah, they really don't look that good at the moment. So, that's the defence and the goalkeeper. In midfield, we've got Mbeumo, who's got Wolves at home, Palmer, who's got Forest at home, Saka, who's got Southampton at home, Rodgers, who's got Man United at home, and then Semenyo, who's got Leicester away. So I really, really like this midfield right now. Even if something happens to like Rodgers, like if he doesn't end up playing, I can always play Strand Larsen, who's got Brentford away, if need be. But yeah, I really, really like the look of the midfield this week. A lot of people are... The one thing I don't get is why people... Like, a lot of people are getting rid of Saka for Palmer. And I think Southampton at home, getting rid of Arsenal's set-piece taker and penalty taker, and he's just an all-round, like, incredible player to have. I get that Palmer's just hauled. Forest are going to be completely different to Brighton. Like, Forest, I think we're just going to set up like we did against Liverpool. We're just going to play a really, really low block, and we're just going to let them come at us and then try and break away on the counter or something like that. So I think that, even though I think Palmer is a good option this week, I think he's a good option every week, I don't think he's going to be as good this week. I think Saka is more than likely going to outscore him this week, because Southampton were like, we all saw how bad they were. I think this is the worst start to a Premier League season that Southampton have ever had. So Saka is going to be licking his lips at the prospect of having them come to Arsenal, and yeah, hopefully he's going to get like loads of points. But I would not be getting rid of Saka a week before Southampton at home. It just makes absolutely no sense. And then yeah, Rodgers is fine. Leicester away for Semenyo, and Mbeumo, Wolves at home, hopefully carries on scoring in the first couple of minutes. But yeah, really, really like the midfield this week. And then up top, we've got Calvert-Lewin, who's got Newcastle at home, and then Haaland, who is my captaincy with Fulham at home. So absolutely fine playing those as well. I could play Strand Larsen over Calvert-Lewin, but I think penalty taker. Newcastle did look really good against City, which is fair enough. And obviously, Wolves haven't created too much going forward, and I might end up just getting rid of Strand Larsen in the future if I do get rid of Trent. But at this moment in time, I'm fine playing Calvert-Lewin. I think he's about to go hopefully big, and you know he's on penalties as well, so you always have that going for him. But that's how the team is shaping up for Game Week 7. As you can see, it doesn't really need any transfers. I do have 2 in the bank, but the team looks okay. The biggest issues are obviously like maybe Mikalenko and Newcastle at home, but apart from that, I don't mind playing him. So that's how the team shapes up. So let's move on to the actual transfers for Game Week 7. So I've got 0.1 in the bank. I've got 2 free transfers. So I'm probably just going to roll this week. As I say, the team looks absolutely fine. I don't need to make any transfers. And going into the next week with 3 is going to be really nice. Just kind of going into the international break soon in a couple of weeks with like a few free transfers would just be really beneficial, just in case there's any injuries or anything like that. So I would like at least 2 going into that. So I'm kind of seeing it right now that I have 0 free transfers. So just that I have 2 just as a backup plan going into the international break. But there are a couple of things that I could potentially do. So obviously Saka's got Southampton, then Bournemouth, and then the fixtures do get a little bit tough. So potentially could be moving him on to a Son if he obviously is fine. Like, he's just had a price drop, which is really, really nice. Because Son, after these 2 fixtures, he's got Palace away, Villa at home, and then Ipswich at home. So that's not terrible. He does have City away, which isn't ideal. But then after that, he's got Fulham, Bournemouth. But obviously Saka's fixtures start getting good around that time as well. But Son could be a little bit of a shout. He's a little bit of a differential as well, 6.8% owned. So he could be something that I do. I may end up just keeping Saka anyway. I feel like that's a bit of a luxury transfer to do, really. Something that I am definitely contemplating is obviously getting rid of Strand Larsen and bringing in Solanke. I could have probably done this, like I say, on my wildcard draft, but I just kind of wanted to keep Trent. And then I have 5 mil if I get rid of Trent to bring in a defender, so that could be really anybody. It could be if Rico Lewis carries on getting starts, then it would probably just be Rico Lewis, because, like I say, to get into that City defence for 4.7 mil would be absolutely great, especially with the fixtures that they've got coming up as well. Absolutely wild, like Fulham, Wolves, Southampton, Bournemouth and Brighton. Like, if he's playing, like, if he starts against Fulham and then he starts against Wolves, I feel like I'm going to have to, like, just bring him in, because he's just going to be doing too much damage to my team. So I can do that. I've got 0.3 mil in the bank, and obviously that would allow me to bring Solanke in as well. And then I do really like this team, to be fair. And at the end of the day, it's got a bunch of penalty takers as well. If Son is out long term, then Solanke's probably going to be taking the penalties as well. But like I say, Haaland's taking one, Calvert-Lewin's taking one, Palmer and Bumo, Saka. There's a lot of penalty takers, and then obviously Solanke as well if Son's out. So that's one thing that I am thinking of doing. I could even do that this week if I really wanted to, because Brighton do obviously have that really leaky defence. Again, I do think that they will suffer a little bit not having Son in the team, but I think he's very close to coming back anyway, so I don't think that's going to be a massive issue. So that's one thing that I could do. I'm not completely against that idea. Obviously, I think rolling is just better anyway, because I don't need to make that change, especially because I kind of want to keep Trent for this week anyway. I'm talking about like the week probably after, potentially bringing those in, because the Spurs fixtures are really nice. Another thing that I could just do is obviously just bring in a Spurs defender for Trent, and just be like Van de Ven or something like that, because he's a very cheap way into that Spurs defence, and he's also had 2 assists this season as well. Again, I'm still not completely convinced by Spurs defence, but they do have some really nice fixtures coming up, and he is only 4.5 mil. I think he will go up to 4.6 relatively soon. But apart from that, that's something else that I could do as well. And that'd give me 2.6 mil in the bank if I did get rid of Trent for that. And that just allows me to upgrade potentially to anybody really. Like, apart from maybe Saka to Salah is just a little bit out of reach, because he's obviously 12.8. But I think Salah might be getting a couple of price drops if people do start jumping off him when the fixtures do get a little bit tough. Because a lot of people are going to want him from game week 18 onwards. So his price is going to be jumping up a lot by then. But that's one thing that I can't really do. Unless, like I say, Saka has some price rises or Salah has some price drops. So I'll be keeping Saka for a while anyway. I don't think I'll potentially get rid of him unless I bring somebody like Son in. But at the end of the day, that's kind of like my thought process at the moment. I don't need to make any rash decisions. Like, I'd like to have Solanke in the team, but I don't want to tear my whole team apart for that. And again, I want to keep Trent for Palace away anyway. It's a very good fixture from a Liverpool standpoint. So yeah, it looks like I'm just going to roll this week, but at the same time, that's a couple of the fixtures. That's a couple of the transfers that I'm thinking of making. Solanke's on my radar. Son potentially. Rico Lewis as well, depending on starts. Yeah, and that's kind of where we're at. But either way, that's going to be my Game Week 7 team, my transfers, how we got in Game Week 6. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like down below. Let's try and hit 100 likes. Leave a comment. What are your plans for Game Week 7? Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. It's everything from me. Have a great rest of your day. And until next time, peace.